Live?
Action. We about to be.
We did
About
live action.
just waiting on her,
The IG.
the Izzle, this true new Dizzle Izzle. She should be going. Come on. She takes a little. She needs a little time, you know.
It's a little slow.
Ooh, yep. Oh, why am I getting the old Dizzle Izzle? Oh. This is episode 291 on the screen.
That's a couple away from 300 there, bub.
Yeah. I mean, what are we going to do on the old 3, dude?
Probably nothing. Probably just like
something stupid.
He'll go like this. He'll be like, "This is episode 300. You believe that, Steve-O? That's like a lot."
We've been here forever.
The next one, that means the next one is 301.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you jumping in. You want to give him the old intro then? I mean, come on now.
Got 300 attempts.
300. Well, boys, we're back on the Outdoor Drive podcast. This is episode 200. Shabeen. No. Oh, I guess I'm not allowed to do that, am I?
Yeah, we might get sued.
We're not actually sponsored by them, but no, we're back here on the Outdoor Drive. We've been going a little bit hard. We actually missed out on a podcast last week because the grind has always been just too much, and we ended up missing a podcast. But that's all right. We're actually going to do a full round circle here, a little bit update on the New England turkey season as it kind of comes. We have some really good stories for you. Before we kind of get into it, let's break through the sponsors real quick, just so you guys all know who we work with. Bowtech, refuse to follow. We are title sponsored by Bowtech, so if you guys haven't gone out and shot a Bowtech, make sure to go and do so. Huntworth Gear, huntworthgear.com. The get more for less with Huntworth. Some of the really good early season turkey stuff. Actually, I don't know. I think they need to make something thinner with the spring that we've been having and how hot it actually is. But make sure to go and check those guys out. Huntworth. Latitude Outdoors, latitudeoutdoors.com for the saddle hunters. If you're looking to saddle hunt, make sure to get on over to them. Use the promo code Outdoor Drive. Save a little bit. Working Class Bowhunter, workingclassbowhunter.com. Got a lot of cool turkey stuff now, so go and check those guys out. Use the promo code Outdoor Drive over there. Oh, are you wearing a turkey?
Yes, Working Class Bird Hunter.
Oh, that's a good one. They got some really good stuff, man. They're coming out with Russian stuff. So get on over to them, workingclassbowhunter.com, and check out their new merch. And don't forget about Kill Bottle Whiskey. Fourth Arrow Camera Arms. Eric's rocking one right there in the background. Eric, what do you think about the old Fourth Arrow Camera Arm, man?
Man, just coming from Walmart edition $30 tripod last year to the Fourth Arrow, it's a whole game changer. It's crazy. I love it. I highly suggest anybody that needs to upgrade their camera arm to go get one of these.
No bounce.
Hydraulic.
Get on over to fourtharrowcameraarms.com. And last but not least, we can't forget about our man Aaron Satterfield with the Saddies Fatties. If the Saddies and the turkeys are dying, Stevie, tell us a little bit about Saddies and what they've done for you this season.
See, I knew this trip was coming up, so I got my hands on some a little bit smaller shells. So I was shooting some 9s this past week, and let me tell you what, Connecticut needs to get with the program because that is nasty.
And we have a ton of really a lot of testimonials when it comes to Saddies. We have another good friend of ours that he had switched over from X brand to the Saddies. And, you know, a 20 gauge, 2 3/4, 7.5 is over 300 pellets in their pattern. So just think about that. That's talk about true, tried and true. And there's some talk about some other tungsten brands that just don't do that. So anyways, let's crack right into it. Skip all the BS and kind of dig into it. So we have our good friend on here, Eric Nelson from up north. Eric, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell a little bit about...
I call him Little Nelson the Rapper.
Little Nelson the Rapper. Are we going to start like that, or are we going to finish like that?
Little Nelly.
That way anybody that's watching can wait to the end to see if they really want to listen. We don't want to scare them all away after the first 5 minutes.
Well, nothing wrong with that. Why don't you tell them a little bit of who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Hey guys,
my friend?
I'm Eric Nelson. I'm up from Berlin, New Hampshire. I am part of the ROTV team staff. I am a journeyman electrician, and I've been hunting for about 20 years, waterfowl, turkeys, and deer, and I'm just an outdoor junkie. I love getting after it every season, no matter what time of the year it is.
Well, without further ado, man, you started the season off first by killing the first bird. So why don't you tell a little bit about that and how that all came to fruition and what it was all about?
The last couple of years, I've been headed down to Kentucky. My buddy Trevor has a piece of property down there, 160 acres of the camp. And
does he spell his name as I do?
Yes, he does.
He's cool.
He's all right then.
He's tall. He's like tall and like
he's way taller than you and skinnier, but
dudlier. Anyways, all right. Sorry, I asked.
He has a real beautiful property down northeast Kentucky, and I went down there and I've been helping him. Every spring he invites me down. I help him set up his tree stands, cameras. Just kind of get stuff ready for him in the fall, and he's lets me come down there and hunt the turkeys down there. And it all started. He started sending me trail cam pictures of them. I'm like, dude, I'd love to come down and hunt sometime. He's like, hop in the truck, let's go. It's about a 16-hour drive. Me, him, and his dad head down there and spend about 3 to 4 days down there. And last year, I was disciplined on trying to get a hunt on film. I actually had a chance if I wanted to just kill one, just to do it, but I was holding off for getting the footage. And this year, I had my buddy run the camera, and we went up. We got there about Thursday night or Friday morning, and woke up around 10 o'clock after getting in around 5, and the birds were gobbling up on the ridge already. Like that, hadn't even made a mouth call or any kind of locator call, and they're already gobbling. So we were like, all right, birds are in the area. This is perfect. So the next morning, it's about 32 degrees. We get up, cold snap, owl hoot, birds gobble up on the ridge. First setup, birds kind of drop over the other side of the ridge. So we make our way around, get in the setup, and calling, birds are gobbling, not really coming to, and all of a sudden you hear this hen come out of nowhere and start yelping. So I start imitating her, and you guys know as well as I do, if you can get a hen pissed off and want to come check you out, she can help you out and bring the gobblers right in. So that's the way the cookie crumbled on that one. He came in with her and shot him, and he ended up weighing 32 pounds, around 1.5 inch spurs, and 11-inch beard, 11.5-inch beard, something like that. So
was that thing bred with like Kentucky woolly mammoth, like 32
pounds, dude, on the scale that he had. So it's unofficial because we couldn't. They don't have really check-in stations down there. And I tried to call up the NWTF representative down there. I tried getting a hold of the Kentucky wildlife biologist, anybody that could, help me out and try and get it officially scored. So I ended up putting the bird on ice the whole time we were there. And by the time we came home, on the way home, somebody contacted me and asked me if I was still in the area. And I was like, buddy,
yeah. They were all too busy hunting themselves. Like, I'm not answering the phone. I'm working a bird right here, bud. You can wait.
Yeah.
Send you right to voicemail.
Yeah. Don't blame them. But no, I got almost back home, and some guy called me back, and I told him, I was like, well, I'm already.
What did he say?
He's like, oh, hey, I'd really like to check this bird out. Where are you? And I was like, oh, I'm actually headed home. And he just wanted to know about what county I shot the bird in, if it was public or private land, and
how close to a turkey farm?
Just wanted to hear about how much feeders are out on the local properties and if guys are still feeding them or.
But, jeez.
No, it was a really nice gentleman, and he gave me the lowdown how he goes to NWTF and he loves to hear stories from turkey hunters, and he was really respectful. He said he was sorry he couldn't get a hold of me sooner. So. But, I had a great memory with a couple.
What did he say about it being 30
He said,
pounds?
well, I looked up the state record is 36 pounds.
Whew.
And I scored the bird with the weight that I had. And like I said, it's unofficial, so it can't be 100% accurate. But the scale we had, when I scored the bird, it was the Kentucky state record, like points wise, everything, like a typical beard. Because you know how you do the non-typical, how they have more than one beard. So
Yeah.
if you take one beard,
So explain
so when you
because
score a
lot of people
bird,
make-
you take the weight and then you times the beard length by 2, and then you do some calculation with the spurs as well. So because my spurs were 1.5 inches and like an inch and 7/16 or something like that. They're almost 2.5 inch spurs. And because with all those measurements, it beat the current record by like 3 or 4 points. Lowballing it. Like, you know how those digital scale, it's always a digital scale. It's one of those scales that goes by numbers. So if I lowballed it what I thought it was at, it still would have been, because I showed you guys the pictures. It was between 33, 34 pounds. So
I didn't realize there was a typical and non-typical, because typically with that scoring method, multiple beard birds are going to smash a regular single beard.
I think
I
like
didn't realize it was a different
category.
A
non-typical, I think, was like you can do almost 299 points.
Yeah, because I'll have
It's like
5-6 beard bird. Like, how do you compete with that?
You can't. So, but
I'm gonna start measuring every strand individually.
yeah.
I've seen it. People have done it.
No, it was a great memory though. I had a great time with them. They're wicked good hosts. They always take care of me. They're like family to me, and I'm still getting pictures from him of a big bird down there for next year. So I am looking forward to that. And
Might not make it long. What are you
What's
talking
that?
about? You might not make it that long. Is anybody still down
not
there?
really.
Or no?
I mean, I think their season just ended pretty soon. Ends pretty soon. I've been seeing a bunch of Kentucky Facebook posts about how the season's like coming to a close. I'll have to double check that, but
Crazy.
but no, I had a
That's
great
awesome.
time.
That's cool. That's super cool. Then Stevie, you kind of started off the whole New England thing with knocking down a Rhode Island bird.
Yeah, that was a little different, right? Because typically Rhode Island usually starts after us in Connecticut, and I usually only hunt Rhode Island on Sundays. That's what got me starting hunting Rhode Island, right? Because we can't hunt Sundays in Connecticut, so it just buy the Rhode Island tag and hunt every Sunday. But with our late season in Connecticut, Rhode Island opened before us, so I'm like, well, it's Saturday, but I'm gonna go to Rhode Island because I can. And I went in there. A spot that I've hunted before, Friday evening, roosted what I thought was 2 or 3 birds, pinned them, realized I had a different access than where I normally park. It was like, it put me in the same area, but I could just park the truck in a different spot and come in on a different trail. Got in there nice and early. There was rain coming, like the whole state had rain except for where I was pretty much. Got in there, sat down. Dude, those birds never gobbled. Like, I don't know what happened, but the birds I had pinned didn't gobble. But I heard a gobbler way off to the left. I mean, like, I could barely hear him. And he was gobbling a lot. But I just hang tight for a little while. Some rain came through. I ended up putting on my rain jacket for a little while, maybe 10 minutes. And I took the rain jacket off at 6 o'clock. And you know me, it's like, if they're not gobbling, I'm moving. So I got packed up, walked down the hill, jumped on a trail. I heard that bird gobble again. And like I said, I don't know how far away he is with terrain, but he's well over 400 yards away. So I walked up the trail a little bit, let out a couple yelps, and he gobbled back. And like I said, he's far away, but he gobbled right after I called. Now, the last turkey woods I hunted and called to was Maryland. There was not a lot of birds responding to calls in Maryland. So like when I yelped and he gobbled, I was like, holy shit. Like, is he gobbling at me? Like, this is different. So I yelped again. He gobbled again. And I'm like, it's true. It works. He's gobbling. This is awesome.
They do.
So I walked up the trail, and I'm kind of heading back towards the truck at this point. But I'm also getting closer to this bird. And walked up the trail like another 100 yards. Yelped a couple more times. He gobbled again. And I'm like, I'm working a bird. Like, this is crazy. Because we didn't work a bird in Maryland. Like, this is crazy. So I snuck up the trail like another 50 yards. I yelped again. He gobbled, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like, I need to sit down, like right now." So I jumped off the trail, sat on the ground right behind a big rock, and it was like I'd yelp, he'd gobble. I'd yelp, he'd gobble. I'd yelp, he'd gobble, and it wasn't but a couple minutes, and I saw him come over the hill. And the only thing was there was like a clear cut between me and him. So he came over that. Through the hardwoods over that hill, right when he got to the edge of that clear cut, he kind of locked him up. And I knew there really wasn't going to be much more of him coming because behind me was straight uphill. So he could see all the way to me and the hill behind me. So there's no, a lot of times that bird will come through in the hardwoods and he's convinced there's a hen there. And if he can't see the hen, if you stop calling, he's going to keep coming because he's assuming that hen walked off behind you. Well, it's straight uphill behind me. So he knows there's nowhere that hen could have went. So trusting the old saddies, I knew he was well in my range, and I put that red dot on him, dude, and I just absolutely folded that bird. Folded him. And it was pretty exciting for me considering we had just got our asses kicked in Maryland. Considering how this,
I do want to talk about that because that's definitely something to be talking
what's
about.
that?
Also,
yeah,
Maryland.
I thought we did talk about Maryland last episode. No,
Not really.
Well, anyways,
no.
we got our ass kicked in Maryland. Like we called a lot and didn't hear a lot of gobbles, and when they did gobble, it was like on accident or something, or we'd call and get one gobble and then continue to call more, and the bird just wouldn't gobble again. So, being home in Rhode Island, and I call, he gobbles. I call, he gobbles. I mean, I just wanted to just keep calling at him just to because I'd just laugh every time he'd gobble. I was like, this is awesome. This is like, this is how you work a bird, right? But, yeah, I mean, he did it just how we like, just call every once in a while. He gobble every once in a while. You knew he was getting closer. Yeah, and like I said, it got to the point where I'm like, he's in range, and I don't think there's really much of a reason to work this bird anymore. So let's just punch this tag and roll them over and punch the Rhode Island tag, which was it's satisfying, especially like that first bird of the year, especially after a trip where you get your ass kicked. It was like, all right, I kind of know what I'm doing. Like, I didn't forget everything since last year.
It's kind of funny because I hunted the first 3 days up there, and it was tough. It was almost like Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Like that was one thing. Like I went up there and hunted opening morning, the next morning, and then so I hunted Thursday, Friday.
This was Saturday though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I hunted
Friday,
Thursday,
and you
Friday.
did not have a lot.
It was tough, man. I mean, like, I went into some known spots that I typically hunt, and there was somebody there the first morning. So I didn't hunt that spot. I haven't even been back there to check. I need to go check that spot. But anyways, I went and rolled and walked probably 2.5 miles on opening morning and did a big loop and literally didn't hear a gobble the whole entire day, like that whole entire loop. And then finally end up hearing them. But it was almost like being back at home. And then when you said you went in and you were able to get on one and it did what it was supposed to do, and you had, you know what I'm saying? But it's everybody across the board up there. Like everybody's having a tough time. It's not just us.
Well, I wouldn't say I was scared, but like I didn't know what to expect because that Thursday, Friday, you had some damn good turkey hunting weather. Like there was no wind, it was bluebird day, high pressure, and you're like, dude, I'm not finding shit. And I was at work Thursday, Friday. So I'm like, well, I can get out tomorrow, and they're calling for like rain and wind, and by like 10 o'clock it was going to be a washout, and I'm like, shit. Like if Trev's getting his ass kicked on a bluebird day, and I'm trying to go into here fighting a monsoon, like this ain't good. So like I said, when that bird gobbled and started responding, I'm like, the way, and that's why I was like, I'm not playing with my food today. Like he's in range now, and I know he's in, and I just, no.
You can't. You like that's the thing. Like you just can't. And the thing is, like, it's just been tough. It's just been one of those things that like, and you see everybody, and I mean, we talk to tons of different hunters between all of us, and everybody's just having. It's just a
dude. We can talk about that for a second. Me and Steve on Wednesday when he came up Tuesday night. Wednesday was like a hurricane. Bluebird day. Wind was unreal.
Yeah,
like the wind is killer. Like I'll deal with a little bit of rain, like a little rain here, but like the wind is just brutal.
No, we'll get to it in a little bit. But the first main bird I saw Wednesday morning was a Jake in the middle of a field. There's nothing between me and that Jake. I'm watching him through my binoculars. Eric's calling at him. This bird, I can see his head. He probably gobbled 25. I watched him through the binoculars gobble 25 times. I never heard a gobble. That's how windy it was.
That's insane.
Dude,
but he was here.
I was whispering to Steve. Is that a redhead? Like, is that bird gobbling and all? And he's like, yeah, I can see him through my binoculars. I'm like, dude, I can't hear anything.
No. But how do you hunt that? Like, how do you find birds? Like, you might be able to glass them in a field and make a move on them, but like, you're not going to strike a bird from the road because you're just not going to hear them.
You're literally deer
Yeah.
hunting at that point, right? You're not running and gunning on them.
No,
things.
unless you spot them from the road and make a move on them, like in a field, it's damn near impossible. But there was something else. Oh yeah, talk about how tough it's been. The following day, after I killed my bird on Saturday, we hunted together on Sunday, and we ran into the kid from Bay State Legion in the middle of a briar patch. Like we weren't at a trailhead. Yeah, and I remember we saw a truck at one trailhead, and I remember saying to you, I was like, "That's a real turkey hunter." It was pickup truck, Delaware plates, cap on the back, had the windows black. I'm like, that dude's living out of his truck, and he's coming up to Rhode Island from Delaware. That's a real turkey hunter. We ended up going all the way to the other side of the public and came in. We didn't come in behind them, and we're out in the middle of nowhere, and we hear a yelp. And come to find out, it was another hunter. So we kind of converge, like literally in the middle of the woods. There's no trail, no nothing, and start talking. He's from Bay State Legion, and it was Sunday mid morning, and he said he had been there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday, and he said he ain't heard a gobble on public land since he'd been there.
And it made me feel some way because I was like, thank God that I am not
right.
The only
and
one,
he's a turkey killer. He ain't no box call Willie. You know what I mean?
That's
we
did meet a box
too. We did.
It was one of those things because we get frustrated because we all work very hard at putting birds in our laps, right? Like we spend a lot of time scouting and putting in time and getting there early to be in the woods and so on and so forth. So me, Steve, and Estrella got to a spot. Trey was on the gun. Steve had already killed a bird. I really didn't care. And we ended up, we got into a spot nice and early. I had met a gentleman at the bar the night before when I was roosting. We had stopped in. Come to find out, he was a friend of a friend. We were going to virtually the same place. One side of the road, he was going on public. I was going on the other side. I was actually going to go on the side he was on, but he's from there. He's a friend of a friend. I only learned about the place because of him. So I was like, you go on that side, I'll go on the other side. I roosted some birds on the other side. So we went in there and we hunted. And first light comes down. I call, they're gobbling, but they're on that side of the road, right? So one thing leads to another. The kid that I met in the bar, he ends up shooting a bird. Fantastic. Great. Absolutely awesome. Couple minutes later, I call, one hollers. Here he is in the middle of our field at maybe 110 yards, maybe with 4 hens, kind of working his way down to us. And, we're just kind of sitting, chilling, waiting, not really calling because if we call them, maybe we're going to scare the hens back the other way.
Those hens weren't vocal at all. I had never heard those hens. So they didn't really give you an idea of what kind of hens they were. Like, were they passive? Were they aggressive?
Well, we didn't find out. Right. They were working their way. So why are you going to try and call on them, right? To make them, it could have went one way or another. So they're kind of working their way to us. They probably get to about 75 yards maybe, and kind of coming our way, maybe 100 yards. And they start coming down, and they're coming, and we hear, yeah, from a box call on the opposite side of the field. I'm like, no frigging way.
Hey, Eric, he needed some of that chalk from Brody. You know what I mean?
Was he a little flat?
Yeah, he was a little flat. He didn't get that chalk from Brody.
So you can hear him, and he's up kind of like in front of us, but out, and which would be kind of where the road is. So he calls, and you're and then nothing happens, and then you come down here.
Sounds like my mouth.
And then it comes down to us, and it's coming, and it's kind of like near us, but it's like I'm like, dude.
Well, it's kind of hard to pinpoint at first because we're on the field edge, and he's on the field edge, so he's calling out to the field. So like it's kind of like echoing around. Like it's hard to tell it was to our left. It was like kind of coming, yeah.
So you kind of see these. You kind of see these birds. The Tom kind of like tucks his feathers like 3/4 strut and kind of like just waddles his way across the field.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, come
so
on.
Do you keep quiet at that point, Trev, to see if like his calling like pushes the birds more towards you, or do you start responding a little bit?
No, they were pushing him away. They were already pushing him way away. So I kind of called at him a little bit to see what was going to happen, but that was the end of it. It was the
Well,
beginning
I
and the
think
end of
Trev's
it.
call and
So
got the old box call Willie excited because he started calling more, like he was calling in Trev or something like that, and it was like this is just not working here.
so we said, you know what, we're gonna pack it up and head out of here. So we start to go, and Steve's in front of us, and when Steve gets a little on edge, and he gets like kind of pissy, like
Killer's
he's like
gonna
kind of like
kill.
in front
Eric-
of us.
Killer's
Eric
gonna
knows-
kill.
Eric-
Killer's gonna
no,
kill.
No. We'll get to it in a little bit, but Eric knows because I put my hand around Eric's shoulder and I said to him, I just want to let you know I'm getting a little pissed off right now, and I was like, don't take it the wrong way. But when I get
You can't.
pissed, that's when I hammer down and shit's gonna die. But right now I'm getting a little pissy. But
I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh
You-
man, it's not ice fishing again. He's gonna be mad that we're not seeing the country. We gotta do some weird shit. Get them birds calling.
Well, you gotta think. I mean, let's be honest. And this is one of the things when you hunt with other guys, right? And guys that are good hunters. You're so set in your way. You know what works, and when it doesn't work, you just get irritated, right? And it happens. And you just tuck your feathers, dude, and you just take it as it comes, man. You just keep the morale high, and the turkeys will die. I mean, that's the way to be. Like, it is what it is. Like, you can't take that
Right.
shit personal, bro. It's like a football. You know, like
But-
you cannot take it
But
personal.
the thing I'm talking about, like I do it alone. Like I'll get
Oh.
like deer season grinds going, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm all positive, and I'm like, yeah, today's the day, baby. And after like 3 days of not seeing shit, now I'm mad. I'm mad. And when I get mad, I get dialed in, and it's like I get that fire in my
Yeah.
eyes, and it's like, dude, something's got to change. I'm killing today, you know. It's just
No,
different when there's somebody else to
I think
take it out on.
Yeah. I think you're sitting there next to him. You're like, oh my god, please be another gobble in the next cut.
Please, if he sees one
No,
more
it's-
Jake, he's
you
gonna shoot me.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, I promised him Toms. I was like, around the next bend, there's like 4 Jakes staring in the road, like white tacos, about ready to just run them over.
But that's the way that it is. I mean, you just can't take that shit. You got to just keep thick skin, keep it going. We're gonna go. I mean, everything's gonna happen. It's all good. Like you just can't let it get.
Yeah,
you. Gotta wear it
I
off.
could see how it could get taken as a negative, but like when and that's why I had to explain it to Eric. I'm like, no, this is good. This is good. When I get like this is good. This means I'm not like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, let's just go for a joyride. Like when I'm dialed in, it's like, dude, I'm focused. You know?
Yeah.
I'm the same exact way. So Stevie's kind of like in front of us, and he's walking out this trail, and I see Stevie stop, and he starts to say something, and he's like, "Oh, well, that fucking makes sense." And there's a dude, and he's got a funky chicken, bro, and he's just in the field, and he's
just slapping the paddle. But
he's like 60
well, yeah, let me
away
set
from
that
us.
up. At the trailhead that we're hunting off of, there's room for 2 vehicles. My truck's there and Trev's vehicle's there. So there's nowhere for somebody to park next to us. This dude literally parked like 200 yards up the road and across the street, walked down the road and crossed the street just to come in behind us and set up 60 yards from our pickup truck.
I swear the turkey gods just parasail these people right into where we hunt constantly. I swear. When me and Steve hunt together, somebody drops them off in a helicopter. I'm telling you right now, because we were in Maryland. We hunted a property, same thing, dude. It's a 1 truck parking spot, and we're literally in that 1 truck parking spot. Me and Steve go in there. We work some birds. They went down a peninsula. We went down after them. We circle back up, whatever. We're walking back to the truck. Now, mind you, it's like 9:30 in the morning. And I say to Steve, stop. I'm like, there's another hunter on the hill. And he's like, no, there's not. And I'm like, dude, he's standing behind the
I forgot
And
the
he's like-
story. Like my mind's mush right now, but yeah, this is good.
I'm like, dude, there's a turkey hunter, and he's standing behind the bush watching us at like 150 yards
And I'm
away.
like, where did
He's
he
like,
park?
I'm like, I have no idea. Like, he must have parked right behind us. I'm like, this doesn't even make any sense. So, I was like, you got to be kidding me. So we end up walking up to the field, dude, and He's like 100 yards from our truck, looking right at our truck with a decoy in the middle, and there's one lone oak tree in the middle of the field, dude. No cover, no nothing. One lone oak tree in the middle of the field. And he's sitting in the bottom of it, and he's got his hand up,
Dude,
and he's waving to us.
I honestly didn't even see the hunter at first because I'm like, I see the decoy and I'm scanning like the field edge, like looking for this guy like tucked back in the shadows. And I'm like, where is he? Like his decoy's right here. He's got to be within, how far are you going to set up from a decoy? He's got to be within a 20-yard radius of this decoy. I'm like, where is this guy? There he is under the one oak tree in the middle of the field, facing my truck.
Dude, Steve, does that not remind you, Steve, of Maine on Wednesday when those two guys showed up in that gray Tacoma with like flannel shirts and blue jeans on with a box call on the dash?
Well, yeah, or a couple times in Vermont too.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but
Yeah.
So you just can't make this stuff up. It's just constant all the time. I had it the other day. I was in a parking space. It's probably 100-acre piece, public land. I got there super early, bringing somebody. Dude pulls up at like 4:30. I'm sitting in the truck brewing coffee, and he pulls up and he's like, "Where are you going in?" Right here. "Where are you going to hunt?" Where the turkeys are. And I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like we're in a 100-acre piece. If they're roosted to the left, and that's where you're going, like I can't even move in on them. I've been here since quarter to 4. I can't, like, no way, dude. Like, I'm sorry to be an ass, but like you got to get there earlier, man. Like that's the
at
public
least
lane
he's
game,
respectful
especially
enough
first.
to ask you where you're going instead of telling you, "Hey, I know this is public, but you can't hunt here. I'm going to be hunting here."
I prefer if you hunt somewhere else.
Yeah, I prefer if you go somewhere else.
No, but it's true. Like it's not turkey hunting's different than deer hunting, right? Like you could have 5 guys in a parking lot during bow season, and you go, "Oh, I'm going over here on this ridge, and you're going on that ridge, and he's going down the swamp." We're all getting in the tree, and everybody's fine, right? But turkey hunting, once that bird gobbles, everybody's locked in on that gobble, trying to call the same bird or moving towards that bird, and it's like you can cover a lot of ground and you can hear a lot of ground. So you just better off just go to the next gate. Like find
just a vocalization game. Imagine if turkeys were quiet. I mean, it's the same thing as deer hunting. You have so many guys in there, but would they really care unless you're, everybody's calm within 100 yards of each other and you're trying to get that one bird to respond and come to you?
Well, the thing is, like 25 acres hunts like 250 acres, right? Like the thing is that you can call so far around it. So like you have so much mobility. So if I'm stuck in a certain area, even if it's if it's one area, I'm still calling. If I'm in the middle of 100 acres, I can call the whole entire 100 acres. Well, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody else is still makes
sometimes too, like you're going in, like where are you going? I don't know. I'm gonna go stand on the top of this ridge, and when the first bird gobbles, I'm going there. Like I can't tell you where I'm going to set up. Like I'm not going to an oak tree and sitting down under it for 4 hours. Like I'm not going to a pop-up line and sitting there and hitting the box call every half an hour. Like I'm going wherever the turkey gobbles.
Yeah, we hunt different. It is what it is. Before we get into the whole your guys' trip up north, I did end up killing a bird in Connecticut, and I did it a non-conventional way. Speaking of something we kind of talk about a lot, like I don't know, I'm torn on the fence, and you guys can give your ideas on it or what your thoughts are on it. I ended up reaping a bird with a shotgun.
Oh, dude, I don't know if I can associate myself with you anymore.
Okay, you don't have to. It's fine. Bye.
We're both good time. Me and Eric are
See you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. No, it was I was on a piece of private. So the Connecticut opener had opened, and it was tough hunting. So I was on a handful of birds opening morning, whatever. Came close. Bird came in over a hill, whatever. I don't know if it saw us or didn't see what it was looking for. Kind of went the other way. So the opening day was tough. Day 2, I just kind of hit property after property after property. I was on them first in the morning. Got down, shut up. The typical thing that we've been hearing. It's whatever. The place I went was expected. Went to another piece of property, worked the whole entire, it's like 400 acres. I worked the whole entire perimeter. It's all ag fields. Worked the whole entire perimeter, almost get back to the truck, and one hollers off on the opposite side of the field, probably 100 yards away. So elongated way over the hill, and it keeps gobbling. So I sit down in the bush and I call it. It's going nuts, 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 nuts. I'm like, bro, come on, just come over the hill. And it was perfect because, we talk about field hunting and not having decoys and this and that. And I was kind of nervous. Like, I'm like, oh man, like I don't have a decoy. So if he does come up over the top of the hill, like if he doesn't see anything, he's not going to keep coming. The nice thing is that there was like, it's kind of funny. It's kind of like working a hill in the hardwoods where I'm using the terrain to my advantage, because he has to come over the hill. Once he's over the hill, now he's within 40 yards of me, right? So I'm like, he's not coming. So I said, you know what, screw it. I says, it's all or nothing at this point. And I had a fan in the back seat of my truck from when I had reaped one with the bow. So I was like, it's still in the truck. I'm like, I'm going to walk back. So I went probably 700 yards back to my truck, ran back to my truck. The turkey's still gobbling on the other side, would not break out of this field into the field. So I said, screw it. I'm going to go back there. I went back. I took a clamp from my GoPro, mounted the stupid thing to the front of my gun, got it high enough. I tilted it just enough so my red dot could see through the bottom of it. I'm like, dude, this is pretty smooth stuff. Went back over there. He's still gobbling on the other side of the hill. I'm like, no way. This is absolutely insane. I cannot believe that this is still happening. I crawled up to the top of the hill. I laid on top of the hill. I yelped 3 times. I look up. He's full strut on the top of the hill, coming right for me. I wiggle the fan 2-3 times. He drops his feathers and bull charged me. Bro, I've never seen nothing like this in my entire life. Like, now mind you, this is the first time I've really like reaped one in the open. I had reaped one in the woods, but I've never reaped one in the middle of a field. Big giant open field, private land, middle of nowhere, like middle of the day. Absolutely insane. This thing drops its feathers and bull rushed right to me. Gets to about 10 yards, stops, sticks its head up. I got a red dot on him. I'm watching him. I'm like, come, keep coming. I fucking wailed him, rolled him right over, and I was like, dude, this is the most. Mind you, my fat ass is laying on the ground. I'm laying on the ground in the middle of the field, dude, and I'm just watching him. And I'm like, I'm shaking. I'm like, dude, this is insane. And he just keeps coming. Stops, puts his head up, and I just
He probably
him out, dude. It was wild.
sounds like the reaction when we saw you wear that blue collared wrinkled shirt to the outdoor show. He probably saw you wearing that. That's why he didn't come in the first time.
He was like, "What are you wearing?"
Yeah. Then he gets close enough and he sees the blue come out from behind the fan. He's like, "What is he wearing?"
He saw your belt.
Yeah. He heard you calling. He's like, "Dude, you look hideous."
I appreciate you, Eric. I really do appreciate you.
Oh, that's good stuff right there.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely. It was different. Definitely different for sure.
What would you rate that?
I didn't know
hunts that you've had turkey hunting. Top 3.
Different. It's different, right? I love working them in the woods.
Yeah.
Definitely, probably one of my favorite things to do. But it's just exhilarating. It's different, right? It's a different reaction in seeing them from so far away and watching them interact with not sounds but visuals, right? Like that interaction, like one-on-one interaction visually. I don't know, man. It's cool to watch. It's cool to see. But it's kind of like that killer's gonna kill instinct. Like, you got to do whatever you got to do to make it happen, right? Like, what does it take? Like, the birds, and mind you, dude, we've now at that point I've hunted 3 states, hadn't killed a bird, and I'm just like, what am I gonna
left in my bag of tricks to
crazy,
chicken.
and I don't a chicken. I don't. The thing is, I'm not a field hunter.
I hate it.
I've never been a
Hate it,
field
man.
hunter.
Yeah.
and I've gained a bunch of access to private land that's fields, and I don't know how to hunt them. I mean, I'll be honest with you, like I don't know how to hunt them because it's not in my repertoire of what I know. Is that even a word?
Close. I think people know what you're trying to say.
Well,
Okay. It's not in there for me, like how to do
you
it.
got to give the
I don't
bird.
have
You got to give the
decoy.
bird
Well,
the advantage in the field. You
Well,
know, you see if like say you like to run decoys. If you're a decoy hunter, that bird's going to be looking at them decoys. Unless you got them ones now that can rotate and move a little bit, and you just got a decoy standing there. How many setups do they see of the decoys before they know that it's nothing's going on? And you talked about like pressure, and
mm,
fourth day of the season, and the birds are just gobbling on the roost. They get to the ground, they're not saying anything. So then now you're out in the middle of the field, your decoys versus if you're calling on the edge, the bird's out in the field, you can see there's no hen. So, I mean, unless you get tucked back in the
right.
woods 30, 40 yards, it's you got to play the wood game that
It's
we've
just
come to love.
yeah, I feel like a lot of field hunters, we've seen it a lot up north, right?
Yeah.
A lot of those guys are basically deer hunters, right? They put up they put up a pop up line in a good spot, and they get in it at 5 o'clock in the morning. They put their Jake decoy and their hen decoy out. They hit the box call like once every 20 minutes, and they sit there from 5 in the morning till noon cutoff, and they'll probably kill a bird that way. Eventually, one's going to strike, one's going to see the decoys, the right bird's going to come in, and they're going to get their bird.
Right.
If that's what you want, is to punch a tag, you're probably going to get your bird, or you might get your two birds and fill your tags that way. But if you want to hunt like we do, and
Run
I
and
mean,
gun.
and
Move.
yeah,
Aggressive birds.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's effective, but like if you're going to hunt fields, that's pretty much all you can do is just
Right.
get a good setup where you think you have a good spot, and you just got to basically deer hunt them.
Yeah. You got to have patience.
And
And
Or
I
the
do
only
not.
it's
or you got to do your homework, and you got to find the bird that if they're roosting on the field edge, and you have to set up on that
Right. Can
field
you
edge.
pattern them? Do you
and
notice
you-
the birds
yeah,
roost in certain trees and they like to
you
go a
want
certain
to
way down the field or
yeah, almost
know?
you want to be right where they're going to pitch down in the morning. As soon as they
Right.
hit the ground, hunts over.
and I've done it. I've done it before. Like you exactly what you said.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
When I was younger, I used to
find out.
do that absolutely too.
Yeah, same. You get underneath them and put a decoy out and just and wait for them to come down
Right.
and shoot them when they come off the roof.
See,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
great.
nothing
It's
wrong with it. I
awesome.
mean, if that's the way you like to do it, then get your bird and fill your cooler or refrigerator with meat, then absolutely.
the only thing I worry about, and I know
It's just
people do it, and I know it's effective. Me and Maddie get in this debate every year because he has fields, and I worry about putting a decoy out in front of a roosted bird and giving him all that time to sit there up in the tree and just stare at it.
That's
You know
a
what I
good
mean?
point.
Like he's on the limb and he's looking at he. It's not like he comes over the hill, sees it, and he's got to commit. I worry about him on the limb and he's looking at it like,
Right.
what is that? Like that thing
Yeah.
ain't moved. That thing's not moved. You know.
And now they're
Oh.
already
But I know,
wary.
there's guys that'll put a decoy out in front of a roosted bird and they fly right down and get shot in the face. So like
Yep.
it's like yeah.
all the time, right? I don't know. It's just crazy. It's I don't know how to. I've never done it. I've never like, dude. I think I could count on one hand the amount of times I've sat in a blind in a field. Like you don't even. It's just weird. It's different. You know what I'm saying? So like to have to do it, it's definitely weird. Where I'd rather kill them I'd rather strike them on the edge of the field and pull them into the
Yeah.
woods and kill them. You know what I'm saying? Than try and hunt them in the field. But
Well,
I don't know. You got to adapt, use the tools that you have, and succeed, whatever
Yeah.
that may be, and whatever floats your boat. I
yeah.
guess.
Growing
I mean,
up here in
I don't know.
growing up here in Vermont and New Hampshire, that Connecticut River Valley Trev, you came up here for bear hunt this past fall, and you see the amount of fields and like the terrain that we have, maybe that may be different from Connecticut, with the abundance of fields that we may have more of, and the ag that's there for the birds and whatnot. I mean, it's not common for have birds roost right on the Connecticut and pitch down into New Hampshire, and then you make a few calls and they'll fly the river because the river may not be as wide as it is down there, and then hop right into New Hampshire. So, I mean,
Well, without further ado, why don't we jump into it? Because you guys had an absolutely smasher beginning of the season in the north. The big woods birds. So, take it away, man. Let's hear all about it because it was definitely.
I honestly
guys.
don't even know where to start. I mean, so I went up and ice fished with Eric last January, which is also epic, great experience. But what do you do in your ice fish? You sit around and just bullshit. So we started talking about turkey season, this and that, and started talking about coming up to Vermont. And, you know, he had mentioned like Vermont and New Hampshire, and then started throwing Maine in there. And I started like getting a little excited, like, man, you like we can really do like multiple states. And he's like, dude, we could do multiple states in a day if we hustle. So I started getting really excited, right? Like just the idea, and we didn't pull it off, but like just the idea of maybe getting 3 birds in 3 states in one day was like highly motivating, right? So I'm like, all right, let's do it. So so New Hampshire and Maine actually opened up the day after Connecticut, but Maine was already open. So we were looking at the calendar, and you know the plan was to come up because typically I always take Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off for Connecticut opener. So I'm like, well, I can take the same 3 days off, come up Tuesday night. We can hunt Maine on Wednesday. We wouldn't be able to go to another state, but we can hunt Maine on Wednesday, which would be sweet. We can knock Maine bird down right off the rip. Now we only have 2 states left, right? So went up Tuesday night. And there was a time where I was almost contemplating like, well, maybe I'll just stay home Tuesday night. I'll get up Wednesday morning. I'll shoot a Connecticut bird Wednesday morning, get in the truck, head north. I'll be to you by like lunchtime, and then we'll just start hunting Thursday morning when all 3 states are open. But I was like, no, you know what? Especially after Maryland, I'm not taking nothing for granted. Like, why short my trip a day? We might need it, right? So I go up Tuesday. We start hunting Wednesday morning, and like I said before, it was windy, and it was actually really funny. So we were looking at Onyx the night before, and you know Eric's telling me where he's got some birds and this, that, the other thing. So he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna park here. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna cross this little bottom." So so he sees me putting the Crispies on. Right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, you might want to wear the rubber boots. I don't know how deep that creek is. And I'm like, all right, well, they're waterproof. Like, I don't care. If you can get through them in rubber boots, I get through them in Crispies. Like, we're good. So here we are in this river bottom, first light. And like, dude, it's more than a creek. Like, you need chest waders to get across
Yeah.
it. And we're trying to get across.
One.
It was so funny, though, because I could tell Eric was like kind of upset with himself because he didn't know how bad the creek was, and I'm laughing. So because I think it's funny and I'm not mad, like I'm kind of, you know, giving him jabs a little bit, like, dude, I thought you scouted this out, like you don't know, you don't know. So finally, it all worked out. We found this little. We still argue about it. He calls it a beaver dam. I call it a log jam.
It was
whatever.
If you see what a beaver chews on the end of the wood, what it looks like at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not like. Anyways, so we cross this log jam. We get over there. We set up on the field edge. Bird gobbles. Next thing you know, there's a bird in the field. We start calling. This was the windy day. It ended up being a Jake, beautiful Jake too, man. Like real coffee colored tips. He's gonna be a nice bird next year. Actually, I think he's a double bearded Jake with like coffee colored tips. Like,
cream colored tips on there.
Like super Jake.
Yeah.
So
as soon as that bird hit the field, though, the wind picked up, and that's what you were talking about earlier.
And like, I'll be honest with you, we hunted. We tried hard Wednesday, but like it was basically a wash. Like there was no way we were striking anything. So for the most part, Wednesday there really ain't too much to talk about.
Yeah, we started in Bethel, and we went up to Rumford.
Don't stop, man, dude. We know how to edit that out.
But we started in one spot, went to another town, and then went all the way down through a bunch of other towns. I'm trying to talk about the miles we covered.
This guy's like dropping pins in Onyx right now.
It's a big town, big county. You can look all you want,
buddy. You thought you had pressure last year. Wait till next year now.
Yeah, I'm not even by my tag.
Don't ever do
the camera. Trev's gonna come up and be like, "Oh, you guys said you got on birds this last year."
Anyways, yeah, we ran all over that section of Maine. We saw birds, a lot of Jakes. But for the most part, like Wednesday was just kind of like
a scouting day.
Yeah, it wasn't really a whole lot going on. So.
Eric, why don't you just give them direct pins right to your grandma's house and just let them hunt in your field with all your turkeys right at? I mean, that's virtually what you just did.
I figure I could help you out with the season you're having so far, so let me send you a couple right now.
So, anyway, so Wednesday afternoon, we head down to turkey camp at Justin's house. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect, right? Like, I knew Matt Weddish was going to be there. He was bringing up Eric from Waypoint, Justin and Jake, obviously me and this guy Eric. But dude, let me tell you what. I want to talk about that for a sec because that was a true turkey camp, man, and it wasn't what I expected. Like we've talked before, like when we went to Maryland, we camped, right? Like we were camping and we were turkey hunting, but that was not turkey camp. This was like what you would think of like when you say deer camp, bunch of guys all living in the same house hunting all day, like your typical northern deer camp. This was turkey camp. This was it was badass, man. It was not what I was expecting, and it was awesome, man. Because everybody, we all draw up game plans. Where are you heading? I'm heading here. Where are you going? We all got our like little like kind of sections where we're gonna hunt. Everyone goes out and hunts. They got the group chats going. Oh, so and so just knocked one down. So and so just knocked one down, and then we all meet back at camp, and there's just a pile of birds in the yard when we get back. So that was really cool. So Wednesday night, everybody kind of, we're all sitting around looking at Onyx, like figuring out where everyone's going. So at this point, Justin had mentioned, like, I guess you'd say, what would you call an easier bird? Close to the road. You can pretty much roost him from the road. He had him pretty patterned pretty well. And it was a field bird. And at first I was like, nah, I'd prefer a woods bird for the same reasons we had talked earlier. And then I started thinking about it, and I looked at Eric. I said, hey, maybe we should think about hunting that easy bird because let's just knock one down. Let's get a tag punch early, and then we can get on to the next state. Like, right? Like,
Yeah, he had him pretty well patterned. He said he had watched him the last did, so we set up on him like he had discussed. And
so
go ahead.
just like we do back home. Like, another thing I want to talk about too, real quick, is unposted land. Now, if you've never hunted unposted land before, a lot of people lick their chops like, oh, it's unposted. It's private property. It's unposted private property. Let me tell you something right now. Unposted private property is basically public land. It is public land because
Well, we went Maine. Remember, we went through that in Maine, and like everybody's hunting the same
And
exact land that you're
if it's
hunting.
a good farm, like good dirt, good birds, you can see them from the road. Everybody knows about those birds. So you might as well call it, it's public land, dude. Like you got to get there early because every other guy that knows about those birds, they're going to try to be on those same birds in the morning. So you might as well treat it like public. So we pulled the old madman math. What time you got to be there to make sure you're not, you're not the second guy there. So we get there pretty early. We pull in. We're not out of the truck yet. We're just sitting there maybe 10 minutes after we get there. And truck rolls by real slow. And like, dude, this is backwoods Vermont. There ain't a lot of vehicles on the road. And so if you see a pickup truck at 3:55 in the morning, he's slow rolling, that's turkey hunter, right? So I'm like, dude, that guy's turkey hunting. So like, whatever, we're here first. So we get out, we go in there, we set up, we find a good spot. It took a while for birds to gobble that morning, and they were not where they were supposed to be. They're on our side, so it was good. So Eric started calling them a little bit. They were getting a little fired up, and then they shut up. I think Eric called again. No response.
Yeah, nothing.
Second time he calls. No response again. So by now I had swung around. I got the gun kind of pointed in the direction of the last gobble. And I don't know if this bird pitched down from a tree. There over the hill, there was a creek bottom, and there's a field down there. I don't know if he kind of like pitched over the brook onto our side, or he pitched out of a tree. I'm not sure. I didn't hear any wing flaps, but I just heard thud. Right, something hitting the ground, and I looked to my left, and there's a bird at full strut at like 35 yards, and like all I could think of. Remember that scene in the first Jurassic Park? When that guy's hunting the Velociraptor, and he's like looking this way, and he looks to his left, and the dinosaur's like, he's like, clever girl. I'm like, I go to Eric, I'm like, dude, he's right there at 35 full strut, and like I go to the only thing I could have done, I could have killed that bird, but it would have been like a pop shot. I would have just swung and pulled the trigger, and like, dude, I don't know, like I haven't even seen this bird move. Is it a decoy? Is it Trev reaping over the hill? I don't know. So I can't just pull the trigger on that, right? So by the time I confirm it's a real bird, I confirm it's a real bird with a putt. And it's like, what?
He already knew something was up.
And I'll be honest with you, even at that point, I could have put that bead on his head and dropped him. But it's like, it's just not how I wanted it to go down.
Right.
Right. So in the meantime, here comes the old white Chevy back up the road. And we've got another bird gobbling, and this guy's coming up the road, turning around between us and the gobbling bird, turns around, goes back up the road, drives back by us. And I'm like, dude, like, we're trying to hunt here, right? So I was like, whatever, we'll go find another bird. So we get in the truck, we go down the road. This is where it kind of gets bushy for me in the head. I mean, we were a lot of jakes, and now we're just doing what we do at home, just running and gunning the roads, cut and run, no bird next cut, running around. The bird I ended up killing, I don't remember what time the first time we saw him. He crossed the road in front of us.
Yeah, so we went up, we hit a couple of spots, came back down, went to a spot I had seen previously, youth weekend, I'd seen 4 or 5 strutters. So we go up this road and we look up in front of us and bird crosses right in front of us. And we're like, okay. So bring the truck up about as far as we could, right, to pull off before thought we were far enough away. Get out. We go down.
We're kind of jammed up, right? Because
Right.
so there's a swamp. There's a swamp on our right, pretty good swamp, and he crossed right on the edge of that swamp. And there was only like maybe 100 yards of timber and then a field. So we couldn't go up to the field, and you got the swamp. So we could only go up so far, and so we got out of the truck. We're getting out of the truck, and Eric's like, hurry up, come on, we gotta go. And I'm like, just relax, he ain't going nowhere, we're all right. And he gobbles. We're at the truck, and he gobbles on
He's
his own.
close.
Like, we're good. So get the gun loaded. We sneak in there. We sit down under these big pine trees, set up. All right, you good? Yep. Eric starts calling, and the bird does not gobble again. Doesn't
Flat.
gobble again. And like,
Flat.
yeah, you're flat. He wasn't rolling over the call or nothing. So we gave it, I think we gave it plenty of time. Now you got to remember, this is a different type of turkey hunt because like we're trying to kill multiple birds in multiple states. So like it's a time crunch too, right? Like you don't want to spend too much time on a bird where normally at home you might sit there and hunt that bird for better half of the morning. So he says, what do you think? And I was like, dude, I think we were just too close when we got out of the truck. Like he probably saw us park or he heard us park and the gig's up or whatever. So we get in the truck and next cut, right? Start riding around. We worked a couple more birds.
Yeah.
And
you were not impressed with them.
No, those birds were terrible. We never heard those birds gobble. We saw those birds across the field.
Yeah.
We put in a couple miles for those birds through some thick timber, and I have no idea where those birds went. So, and as you get back in the truck, roll around, check some more spots. We're coming back through. Now we're on I don't know what.
It was like 10. It was around 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
I've been close to 10.
So we're coming back down the same road, and we're on the other side of that skinny field. And got out. Eric calls, no response. We get in the truck. He pops into neutral. We start rolling down the road. Here's this bird standing in the middle of the field, like on a farm pond. We're like, no shit. He's looking back up the road, like up the field from where we just called. So like, shit, what do we do? So we just rolled right down, came back up the hill, parked way up the road, cut into the woods, set up. Eric strikes him. I think I moved once. I moved up, and I did not.
We were curious about how far he was, and then once we called and got him to gobble one more time, I mean, it was instantaneous. You were moving up to that edge. Like you were probably like 10 feet back in the timber still a little bit, and I crept behind you behind this big stump, and
I think it was just instinct, right? Because this is a field edge, and I think my instinct as a woods hunter, I didn't want no part of that field. Like it's just not natural to me. So when he gobbled, it's probably only about, what do you think, is like 50 yards of that corner in the field?
Yeah.
And
it was probably 50 yards of that corner. And like that terrain of that field, though, that helped us a little bit was there was a roll.
Big roll.
So the first time when I had called from the road there, like there was a big roll. So obviously we didn't hear him gobble, but he couldn't see us either, which was huge. So that's when we crawled down, and then we saw that he was like picture perfect. Like you said, with the water wheel in the background and everything, and like looking over, and
it was like a postcard.
But once you heard him gobble, we knew he was committed.
Yeah.
He came in on a string.
So I move up. I'm like literally on the field edge. It's not even a field, it's like a pasture.
Yeah.
And we're not far from the road either. So he comes around this corner, and so I got the field edge down my left side, and there's like a little island cluster of like some trees in the field too, and there's just a small window between that corner of that field edge and that tree, and he's right there. I mean, he's in range, but like I'm hoping he's gonna come a little bit closer, right? So I can hear cars coming up the road, like the internal clock's going off, and and it's like almost halfway through the second day and no birds down, right? So I put the red dot on him. I still haven't looked at the footage to see what happens. I put the red dot on him, and about the same time I go to pull the trigger, he gobbles, right? I pulled the trigger. I don't know where I hit the bird, but he did not fold. He charges me. Now this bird's running directly at me, full blast. I put the red dot on him again, pulled the trigger, and I mean I mollywomped him, but he was still like he turns broadside. I fucking sent
He starts
another one.
flying at him now.
Yeah, and just rolled him up there, and like I can't wait to watch the footage because at this point I literally just lay on the ground. Like what just happened? Like it was like insane. So birds down, Vermont birds down. Like now we're getting the ball rolling here, right? Like it started out slow. Wednesday was windy. A lot of we didn't even talk about the other guy there that preferred if we didn't hunt there.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to get into that.
I mean, I hate to backtrack, but I think I got to tell it now because this is why it was like this bird was such an emotional dump. We had the Chevy first thing in the morning driving by us. We had ran into two other strutters on some dirt road, found unposted land, moved in, sat on them. We're calling the birds, and we can hear truck pull up to our truck. Eric gets a little nervous, like, who's at our truck? Is it the game ordinance? Not that we're doing anything wrong, but like, what are we coming out to when we come out?
Right, like I got my decoys in the back. Like I don't want somebody messing with my stuff.
And we're in the middle of nowhere, man. Like we're way out there. So we're working these birds. It was 2 longbeards and 2 hens. They're responding, but they're not responding to everything. So finally, he's like, "Come on, like let's go." So we go walking back to the truck. I left my GoPro sitting where we were set up. So I was like, I gotta go back and get my GoPro. So I go back to get my GoPro. So Eric beats me to the truck. Excuse me. Eric can fill you in. But basically this guy's like, yeah, I prefer if you don't hunt here. My grandkids hunt around here too, and it's surrounded by posted land. And Eric's like, yeah, but this isn't posted. Yeah, but all around here is posted. And he's like, yeah, but we're not hunting the posted land. We're hunting right here. And I was like, what are you going to do, dude?
I understand that, sir. Like, I understand that, you have your grandkids are going to come up and hunting, and I'm not on your posted property. I'm on the non-posted, so I can hunt here. Well, I'd really appreciate if you didn't hunt up here. I'm going to be having grandkids in the woods. I'm like, okay. Well, I'll be respectful. I've been hunting for a long time. Like, I understand about, like not shooting towards houses or anything else. Like, make sure I have a good background, all the hunting ethical stuff that we all do in the woods. And he just was not about me being there.
He knew what it was. Is he knew those 2 longbeards were in there, and
he had his camo shirt on. He's like, I'm not hunting.
Yeah.
I'm like, just staying hidden in the red ram. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and then after that, we struck another bird, and trying to figure out how to get in on this bird. And like, how it is, you pull up the Onyx and you're checking for posted and like, where can we get in on this bird? So we check the power lines. Power lines got a posted sign. So we go around the other side. We find this, I guess it's like a 2-track, right? Goes up in the timber. It's not posted.
Yeah, it goes up into like some maybe hut or shack or maybe something. But yeah, like you said, nothing posted. The only sign said it was no wheeled vehicles.
No motorized vehicles.
Yeah.
But this is the part we get out of the truck, and this is where I put my arm around Eric and I say, I just want to let you know, I'm getting mad. And he was like, oh, and I was like, I ain't mad at, I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad. And when I get mad, like I get locked in. So I'm just warning you, like we're about to get aggressive here. No sooner do I say that, we pass the sign that says no motorized vehicles, and the lady across the street in the trailer is like, you can't go up there. That's posted property. And we're like, no, it's not. And she's like, it's posted up there. And like, dude, I'm already fiery. So I turn around and I was like, it's not posted here. Is it posted here? No, it's not posted here. She's like, it's posted up there. And I was like, we're not there yet. Like, we haven't gotten to the posted signs that you talk about. And she goes, well, where are you trying to get anyways? And Eric's like, we're going up the mountain. And she goes, well, why don't you just go up the power lines? And I'm like, the power lines are posted. And she's like, well, they're not supposed to be. And I'm like, they are. So Eric can see what's
So-
going on here. So he's like, come on, let's go. Let's not argue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
arguing. I want to hear what this lady has to say. I said, ma'am, so let me get this straight. You're telling us we can't go up this road that's not posted, but you want us to go up the power lines, which is posted? I was like, that makes no sense. So I look at Eric. I was like, dude, these people around here are weird.
Oh yeah. So as soon as I like, all right, Steve, let's just get out of here. And he turns around. We start walking by. Lady's still on the porch. He's like, man, y'all are weird up here. You got some weird people up here.
So, anyways, left that bird. Oh, throwing the P4 around. Can you still
Oh.
hear me?
And then, oh yeah, we
I'm
do.
good? Okay.
He is mad. He is mad at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like
She's
waiting for him to initiate a conversation. I'm like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Turn up the music a little louder.
Little,
like-
put
He's
on
like,
a
put on a little Toby Keith
little
for me.
Toby Keith. Set the tone. But yeah, so with between the Chevy in the morning, the red Ram telling us he prefers to not to hunt here, the trailer park lady yelling at us, like when this Vermont bird hits the ground, it is a relief. It is like, whew, we got one. We got one, you know. So after that, we took some good, beautiful pictures. Probably my favorite picture of the trip is that Vermont bird. So Eric says, hey, you can check it online, or we can go to the check station right down the road. And I'm like, dude, I want to go to check station. Like, I've never been to a check station for a turkey. And like, we don't even do check stations anymore for deer in Connecticut. Like, I like check stations. So we go down to the, just convenience store, general store, whatever. But it was cool. Like, they weighed the bird, they measured the spurs, they measured the beard, they do it all, it was a cool experience. The only problem with it is now we're wasting time because New Hampshire's got a noon cutoff and we're trying to get to New Hampshire before the day ends. So, all the BS and all that stuff, tailgate talk at the store. I don't remember how far the drive was to New Hampshire dirt, but we left that store at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we struck a New Hampshire bird by 11:30.
Yeah.
So we got a half an hour. And like, I'll have to post the videos because there was birds on both sides of the road. And the first time we go up the side of the mountain, get on top, this clear cut, and the bird shuts up. Well,
Yeah,
what
we thought
bird
we
gobbles
bumped him.
next? The one across the street. So I got video. Me and Eric are running down this side of this mountain, like full speed. Yeah. Come down this hill. What's that? I got video of it. We're running down the side of this mountain, back across the street, strike this bird, go in. There's two birds. They're within 100 yards. And I'm like, he's calling and videoing. And I'm like, dude, we got 7 minutes, 8 minutes. And he's like, yeah. 7 minutes. And like, they didn't come within 100, dude. And it was like 12 o'clock, pull the plug on, unload the gun, back to the truck we go. Day two's over. Vermont bird down. So it was like pretty good day, man. I mean, we covered a lot of ground. We saw a lot of birds. Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah,
Go
the rest of the boys at camp had a good, successful day too.
Yeah, I think we had four vehicles out.
Yeah, four vehicles,
groups.
five birds between the three groups of us. Four groups of us, sorry.
Four groups,
yeah.
5 birds. Yep. So,
Yeah.
And like that's the other cool thing about like a noon cutoff, right? Like everybody's back to camp by say like 1 o'clock, and just hanging out, telling stories, playing cornhole, all that stuff. So Thursday morning we get up. It was a little rainy, which was cool because the first morning we were out the door quick, right? Like we wanted to be in the spot. We wanted to be the first one there. Second morning, everybody's like, yeah, we don't care. Like if there's somebody in a spot, we'll just go find another one. So we hung out a little bit longer, drank some coffee, bullshit or whatever. We left a little late. So on purpose. So when about gobbling time Thursday, we weren't set up anywhere. We were just running the roads, hitting the owl call. I don't even remember where we ended up. I think we ended up back on.
We ended up where we
birds.
left off
Yep.
off on opening day.
Yeah.
And then we checked some surrounding area spots. And then I was like, all right. I got this little honey hole. I was like, we're going to go check this out. Like, see if these birds are here, had a successful or unsuccessful youth hunt there. And then
that's where the youth missed like 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Yeah. Early that past Sunday was it Sunday? No, Saturday. And then, so I was like, the birds have been given almost a week time. Like, let's sneak down in there, come in from the opposite end that we usually come in from on this road. And we spotted those jakes out in that field with the 2 hens. And then we ended up seeing these birds again right in the dirt road, right out in front of us. And
Hey, hold, I don't mean to cut you off, but Justin says he can't imagine you running.
yeah, well, unlike Justin, all right, yeah, okay, I see it now.
It's all right, Justin. I got video proof of it. But
Yeah,
yeah, so I don't know exactly where he was, but located 2 more longbeards with 2 hens. Took us a minute to devise a game plan on the side of the road, like how we were going to get in on these birds, where we were going to try to kill these birds or whatever. Slipped in the backside. It was like an old, it wasn't a, I guess it's a clear cut, but not, it was an old cut, like grown up, kind of grassy, little 1 acre grassy CRP kind of weeds. And we set up there. Now we know there's 2 longbeards, 100% positive.
Yeah,
So
we
Eric
know-
brought,
we-
huh?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so Eric brought his gun for this one, and we set up. We're gonna try to double up on this one, right? So it's funny because he's doing all the calling. So we're setting up, and he wants to get the tripod all set up right, and the GoPro all right before he even starts calling. And I'm like, dude, call now. Like, get it,
Oh,
get
yeah.
the ball rolling because
He's like whispering, yelling at me.
Yeah.
Like, start calling. Like,
It's
I call a couple times first series. Hen immediately fires off, yelping, cutting at me. Here I am trying to set this up. Steve's like, call right now. Call. Do what she's doing. Call better.
don't be so flat. But yeah, I mean, it was perfect, man. Like the bird gobbled a couple times, but that hen, she was hard yelping and cutting back, and it was a really good setup for killing a bird. Hen pops out first, and like just like you fear, right? Like she's first, so like once
Yeah.
she clears, she kind of locks up, and
She
she's
is
like,
looking, yeah.
she's like, "Where's that hen?" Well, at this point, Eric's on my right. He can pretty much shoot both birds.
Yeah, I can see him.
I can just shoot the first bird. And like I'm trying to hold off so we can double up here. And I'm whispering to him and I'm like, hey, I can only shoot one. I can shoot the one on the right. I can't shoot the one on the left. And we're trying to communicate whispering, but these birds are already starting to act a little weird. And I'm like, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna
like
kill him.
Mortal Kombat voice. Finish him.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. And it was like, dude, it was like, I don't think I could have waited another half a second. That first bird just went to turn his head to go back the way he came. And as soon as he turned his head, dude, I put it right on the back of his head and just folded him up.
Oh.
And the
thing
first
is-
thing he
The thing is
disappeared.
that Steve couldn't see him, and I watched him go down. Steve's like, "Did I get him?" Because the hen flew off. So Steve's like, "Did I have another Vermont experience? Like this
Yeah.
bird? Like is my gun off at this point?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Dude, no, he is down. Like you just dropped him."
And then I think the next thing out of my mouth was like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Comes over
He's
and
like, "Why are
hugs
you
me." I'm
sorry?"
like,
and I was like,
comes over and hugs me, and I'm like, weird because mostly it's been insults all weekend and jokes, and now he's hugging me, and I'm like, wow, it's like it's a different side of him.
but
Trav's like, I've never gotten a hug from Steve.
I kind of felt bad because we were trying to double up, but it was one of those things where it's like we weren't going to double. It was like either
No.
I was going to kill one or we weren't going to get either of these birds. So
Yeah, and I know we've talked about this like together, but you know, like that week, those 4 days were about you. Like we had a goal set out, and like you know, I can always go back, like I told you right afterwards. I can go back and hunt that other bird if I wanted to.
yeah. So,
So-
but that actually gets better though, right? So
right.
So we're doing some cutaways and we're videoing like the post hunt video and all that stuff. And that second bird gobbles a couple 100 yards away. So we go back to the truck, go down the road, try to strike them. We strike them. We're like, dude, we can go right back in where we just was. So we go in there, we start working this bird, and he's gobbling, but he's hung up, right? Like, I think what it comes down to is like, he's not going to come right back up to where his buddy just got shot in the face. Like he's just not. He's going to gobble and
Yeah.
respond, but he's not going to come. So, and it starts to rain. So I was like, hey, listen, the truck's right there. Stay here, keep working this bird. I'm going to slip back to the truck. I'm going to grab my bird I just killed. We'll come back in here. We'll take some pictures. So while Eric's actively taking pictures of me with my bird, he's also calling another bird. So he's like taking a picture. Yeah, work it. Yep. Oh yeah, good picture. Yep. So at one point, this bird, I don't know if he got on a ridge or what, but he hit one time and it was like, oh shit. We take my
Yeah.
bird, throw it behind a stone wall, take cover, start working the bird again. So, and then it was funny because we got in like not an argument, but I'm like, dude, let's kill this bird, and he's like, no, let's go. We got to get you another bird, and like I'm trying to unselfishly be about me, and he's trying to be like, no, like whatever. So we leave the bird there. We throw my bird in the back of the truck. We're heading to Maine. It was I shot that bird at what, like
8:08.
8:09, 8:08.
808.
So by now it's probably like 8:45, maybe 9 o'clock, and we got an hour drive to Maine. So we're on our way to Maine. We spot a bird in the field. So Eric's like, "No, come on, let's go. Like we got to get to Maine." I'm like, "No, let's go kill this bird." So it's pouring rain too. So we got out of the truck on our way to Maine to try to work another bird. Same thing. That bird would gobble at everything, but he wouldn't move. He just stood in one spot.
Yeah, you made that like pretty clear at one point. You're like, dude, he's not even turning his head. Like it was almost like a statue, but just vocalization gobbling. Like he would not like adjust his body, like fan out or nothing.
It was weird. So we played with that bird for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes maybe. Back in the truck. We get to Maine. It's like maybe 10 o'clock by the time we hit Maine dirt.
Yeah.
And just like same thing as the rest of the weekend, right? Like pull up to a cut, hit the call, no bird, next cut. Pull up, no bird, next cut. Spotted a couple jakes, come down the road. Here's a longbeard standing in the middle of the road. Well, actually, no, I didn't see the longbeard.
No, I saw him up front. And to be honest, I was a little frustrated at this point. You know, I think we'd been grinding through Maine. Like that Wednesday was just like left a salty taste in my mouth, and I was like, I want to find a Maine longbeard at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
I need to put eyes on one.
Yeah.
And so I'm like telling Steve, like, I'm just getting bummed. He's like, dude, don't get upset. It's gonna happen. Everything happens for a reason. Just get mad.
Yeah. And with that, this is the second time I've hunted Maine because I hunted Maine with Trev 2 years ago, and I didn't punch a Maine tag. So this is, we hunted Maine Wednesday in the wind, nothing. 2 years ago, nothing. And it's raining again. When we pull into Maine,
and you think at this point Maine is not your state,
right? So, and it's raining again, and I remember having the conversation. And like I'm checking the radar, and I'm like, dude, the rain's gonna stop soon. Once the rain stops, these birds are gonna start firing off because we haven't heard a gobble in Maine yet, right? So, rain kind of stops. We're coming down over so we had just seen 3 and like it took us a minute to glass those jakes up because they were going through the timber.
Yeah,
and like we're trying to like make sure there's not a longbeard in there, and it's like nope, they're all jakes. So we come over the hill, and I just remember seeing a bird just get off the road into the ditch. And Eric's like, that's a longbeard. That's a longbeard. And I was like, did you see a longbeard? No, that's a big bird. I'm telling you, that's a longbeard. And I'm like,
it's a big old chest. I'm like, that was a longbeard. I'm telling myself, it is a giant.
So,
quick backstory.
Hey, we didn't even talk about that Jake I almost shot in New Hampshire that morning at like 12 feet.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so we drive by this bird, a couple 100 yards or whatever. Perfect. There's like a dirt pull off right there with a logging road goes back in there. We leave the truck. We set up.
Yep. Quick backstory. This spot I had driven by through with my buddy Justin, who commented recently. Was just up the road. I had hunted with Justin on Monday. He punched his first Maine tag, and then we were off and running. We got to this just below this spot, farther down the road, and he had an incident with a tree that turned into splinters, and we decided to keep going up and traveling that road because it looked like a good spot. And we called it that pull off after he had missed. And I was like, why don't you just, we'll put out a pizza plate. We had just gotten a bite of pizza. I was like, why don't you just make sure your gun's sighted in?
Breakfast pizza?
Yes, it was breakfast pizza. So he shoots at this sign, sees that his gun's still on, super tight pattern, and which just explains why he missed, we'll say. But then go ahead. So then we pick back up. So Steve and I pull in, and then we head off down this road. And go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, so we get up top of the hill. There's like a split in the road there. Like one goes to the right, one goes to the left. The bird's to the left. So we set up. We don't know how far in the woods this bird's gone. So like we're kind of thinking maybe we'll call him right up this road. So we set up, and just like I've been doing to Eric the whole weekend, like he's still setting up the camera and everything. And I'm like, call now. Like, let's find out where this bird is. Like, you'll have time to finish setting up the camera, but like, let's just strike this bird. So he hits the call, bird gobbles, and he's like way farther left than we thought he would be by now, right? So I kind of turn, and Eric whispers to me, he's like, you want to move up to that stump? And I was like, oh yeah, like there's this giant stump right there, and it's like perfect. So I'm like, dude, if I can be behind something, that's way better than have my back up to a tree. So we both move up to the stump,
Mm.
and Eric calls a couple more times. Bird gobbles, and dude, this is like what you would envision if you envision a Maine turkey hunt. Like we are in the dark timber, like
The
pines, and
the
like
pines.
you got all that pine shit on the ground and dead shit everywhere. Like it's thick, it's dark, and Eric's like, I see him, and I'm like, we have video of this too.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to let me know, confirm with me it's a Longbeard, and he's
Oh,
like, I will.
that's a lot nicer than the way you just said it, though.
I'm not gonna let you shoot a fucking Jake. And I was like, I'm just saying, I need confirmation before I pull the trigger. And he's like, I understand that. And I'm like, okay, as long as you understand that, because I don't know what I'm gonna be able to see. Like unless this bird goes into strut, like I might not be able to see a beard or whatever. And like it's thick.
Do you know why he does that though? With the confirmation is because when we were in Maine last time, I shot a longbeard and there was another bird and he said, "Is that a longbeard?" Yeah, it's another longbeard.
And it was a Jake, and luckily I didn't shoot it because I would have been pissed. But anyway, so his eyes light up and he's like, "Oh, I see him. It's a Longbeard. It's a Longbeard."
yeah.
And I was like, "All right, cool." So like, dude, this is just like this bird just comes working through this timber and he's just like zigging and zagging through the hard shit and like through the thick
He's
stuff. Like, I mean, perfect. And like, it comes to that point where like he's about in range and I'm looking at the bird and I need this bird to go to my left so it's the bird's right, and I need 5 feet, 5 steps, and I got a perfect shooting lane, and I'm whispering, just go left, go left, go left. And I go to Eric, I was like, 5 more steps, 5 more steps. And what's the bird do? He zigs the other way and starts going up the hill, which makes sense, right? He's going to want to get uphill and get the high ground or whatever. So he starts going the other way. And at one point he was stopped right there, well in range, but I would have had to shoot through one of those little deadfalls. And I'm certain I would have killed that bird. But I'm like, you know what? That Vermont bird's still in my head, right? Like I want to make sure this is a clean kill. So
this is the last bird.
Yeah.
I don't take the shot, and at this point he goes behind this like big cluster of trees to the point where like, dude, what's the bird?
I'm looking.
He's at what, 20 yards?
Dude, he's closer than that. He's like 15 and closing on us.
And we can't see him at all.
Yeah, I can't see him. He's behind this. We got these 2 big pine trees out in front of us, and I'm looking to my right, and I'm like, Steve, it's like if he keeps coming, he's gonna bust me. Like you better get on one knee and just pop up and just let him eat a satty.
Yeah. So when he's behind the tree, I'm assuming I can't see him at all. Like I can't see any piece of him. So I just swing over to the right and get looking at down the right side of that cluster of trees. And Eric says something like, he's gonna bust me. Like if you got a shot, shoot him, right? And I just leaned out just a little bit more to the right, and all I could see was a white head. And I just put that red dot on him and just busted him, dude. And like me and Eric just lost it, dude. It was just so awesome to get that third bird in the third state. And like, you got to remember, it's only been 3 hours since I shot the New Hampshire bird. So it was like bam, bam, bam. And it was like, the way the week started out pretty slow. Like we started out flat. Like Wednesday was a bust. Thursday morning.
Proof.
No, but once we rolled it over, dude, we got it going. But like I said, like Wednesday morning was a bust. Thursday morning started out pretty slow. Like I didn't kill that Vermont bird until 10. It was 10.
Vermont bird was 10:08. Yes,
10:08. So like that's a day and a half of nothing. So to go late bird Thursday, early bird Friday, and then to top it off Friday afternoon, man, it was just like bam, 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 and it was dude, dude, we did it. We did it.
The emotions came out, and it was. I still don't really have the words for it. It was an awesome experience.
Yeah,
I've definitely loved to get down behind the camera now and like not be technically behind the gun, and like being able to get that footage now is just watching that bird come in and like seeing your buddy's success and watching punch the tags and just emotions you get to share with someone else compared to hunting by yourself. Self-filming is just.
Yeah. I think awesome. Too, the coolest thing about it for me was we already hunt pretty fast pace. Like we're running gun, no bird next cut, no bird next cut. But if we hear a gobble, we'll go and we'll work that bird. As long as he's gobbling and we're on him, we'll work that bird for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, if we're on him. This trip was like by design, was fast paced. We do not have time to waste. And Like I tell a lot of people, I was like, is that kind of like we were speed dating gobblers, right? Like there was a couple times we'd pull up on a cut and we'd strike a bird. Maybe it was on the other side of the road, and like if we really wanted to, we could have killed that bird. Like there was unposted land, we could,
Right.
but it was like no.
We were looking for a certain type.
Let's go find another one. Like what?
How many birds did we leave after they gobble once or twice and then shut up after like 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, we're like, we're not,
or 20 minutes. Maybe that's a little bit of an under exaggeration of the time, but
he's not deep enough.
He's not committing as fast as we want to. That main hunt, 6 minutes.
No, 7 minutes and 12 seconds.
Sorry, 7 minutes and 12 seconds.
He turned the GoPro on when we left the truck, and I pulled the trigger at 7:12. But like, it was cool because it was like the extreme version of how we normally hunt. Like fastest pace, most rush, let's go, no time to waste, nothing but efficiency. Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to like slow it down a little bit now, but like as an
it's a rich environment compared, right?
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of dirt to run too, right? Like it's like you have no restrictions on where you can go find birds. But like I love the experience that it comes from hunting like that. Way into the spectrum, way end, right? So it's like almost like to experience that end of that fast pace, go, kill. It's almost like, dude, when I slow it down and just like work a bird like normal, it's like it's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
No, it sounds like you guys had an absolutely amazing trip, and finally the birds have kind of clicked on, and I think is across the board. I think the gates are going to open here. To be honest with you, a lot of these guys that are having tough time, or the birds are coming down and not gobbling, or whatever, not committing. I think that the gates are going to open here. I think everything was just a little late. Like think about it. Like we're into the the first almost the second week of May, and I was thinking about this driving today. Like we haven't had green up. Like typically a lot of my birds die from like the 1st to the 9th. And it's typically when there's a little bit more green in the woods, right? Where the birds have like really keyed in. The first couple of days of the season is tough, which would have been, a little bit later. It's typically around the 20th of May, 25th of May, where it was like kind of not really green. And now it's finally starting to get green, where I think that everything's going to the gates are going to open. I really do think so. I think at the grind guys that are not doing so well kind of stick with it. I think the gates are going to definitely open.
Yeah,
sure.
It was weird because I left Connecticut Tuesday evening after work, and when I came home Saturday night, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like it popped.
Yeah,
it was a different world when I came home from Greenwich.
Right. It's crazy. Like when you go south and you start coming up, it's like there's definitely a difference when things go.
No, I mean that's the cool thing about turkey season too, right? Like you compare it to deer season, like you have your early season, your middle rut, and then your late season, which is spanned over say 4 months, 3.5 months. Turkey season, you get all that early season, middle season, late season turkey hunt in the span of 1 month. Like say first week of May, middle of May, end of May is like 3 different birds act completely different in that from the start of the month to the end of the month. So you just got to be prepared to like change your strategies and tactics quickly, because if you're only hunting weekends, Saturdays, right? So you get 4 or 5 Saturdays to turkey hunt. What you saw and heard and witnessed last Saturday is not the same as this Saturday. Like you can't go back in there and expect the same thing from the week before because it's changing that quickly.
Yeah. What's your weather looking like this week down there?
Dude,
we got rain showers all week. And then I think this weekend it's supposed to break. And I bet you're going to see, like Trev said, a lot more action.
Yeah, dude, I might kill my first bird from the kayak and I don't even need a boat access because we're like flooded right now.
We're underneath it, which sucks, especially for ground nesting birds, right? Because like they're flooding that out. And that's typically those years that we have bad poult hatches. And Saturday seems to look like it's going to open right up. So we got Thursday, Friday. Wednesday's supposed to be decent. Tomorrow morning's going to be halfway decent, but Thursday, Friday, rain. Saturday's good. Sunday's good. Monday, Tuesday. So things are kind of cheating up. But, dude, the second day of season, this first Saturday of the season was 85 degrees down here on Saturday.
That's wild.
85 degrees. Like, who wants to run around in that? Like, that's bad. I mean, might as well be in the
No,
Key
it's
West.
crazy. I didn't even think about this in the story. It was 85 here Saturday. Thursday morning, the Vermont opener, it was like 22. It was cold. It was everybody got back to camp. Like, dude, it was cold this morning. We're like, we all were underdressed. Just because you're not thinking about how cold, you're not thinking about how cold it's going to be for turkey season. But it was deer killing weather Thursday morning.
That Saturday, Steve, we went out and it started getting humid that morning after we'd ran into those Jakes.
Mm.
We ran the chicken.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Eric, you want to finish this episode off? Jesus, there it is. You want to finish this one off with something a little special? Or what?
Not really, but I know you want me to.
Yeah, come on, just do it for us.
Are you gonna play it?
What song are we doing? Oh, this is one of his favorites.
I hope Estrella threw out Trevor's shirt.
I can't hear the music.
Oh, you can't? I can't hear it anymore either. Yeah, you ruin it. Yeah. No, it's not gonna happen. I can't hear it, bud. Sorry.
Oh, it's not gonna work. All right.
We tried.
You got lucky.
We tried. You got
Well, it
talent.
would've been
Popeye,
special.
I'll tell you what.
It would have been
Tell you
special.
what. Do you have like a musical background?
No. Yeah, the
No, I'm
shower.
serious.
The shower.
No, but I'm serious. Like,
I like to do karaoke songs at my buddies' weddings. Seriously.
let's keep skipping.
Yeah, it's in and out.
All right. Well, guys, congratulations to Big Steve on knocking off the. What do you got? A couple left. So
Robbed of Nelson's
Rob.
freestyle, Eric's.
What?
Eric's. Remember when we were in we were there and we did some of that freestyle
Rob.
Yeah.
down at the outdoor show. He was blessed with my presence.
So,
Well,
we appreciate it, and you still. I mean, it's still kind of going.
Yeah, I
so with a lot
I
of
got 3 tags. I still haven't even picked up the gun other than one day with Steve. So I'm gonna get after it this weekend and see if we can't make some magic happen.
Well, can't wait to see the videos. Can't wait to see everything. Everyone can follow along with us either on the Outdoor Drive or at Real Outdoors TV on all social media platforms. You guys check us out. Make sure to follow along. We appreciate every single one of you, and hopefully everybody can get out and shoot them in the face. A lot of tags to be filled. A lot of turkey season to be had. Guys, coming, taking the ride right here on the Outdoor
Hey, thanks
Drive.
for having me, guys.
Hey, you can
thanks for
be
coming.
anytime you want, and we appreciate y'all.
And come
All right,
down to
guys.
Connecticut and shoot a bird.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to come down and knock a few Southern New England states out.
I know a guy.
Oh. All right, guys. Hey,
All right,
make
thanks,
sure your
buddy.
calls aren't flat. Keep them rolling over.
Keep them rolling over, baby.
All right,
If not,
see you
hit 'em-
guys.
and if not, when in doubt, hit them with the chicken.